The dark side of capitalism. Hello everyone, I am Space. Ambition and money are always a bottomless black hole. Trash and trivial things are thrown in here. In human history, there is no ideology darker than capitalism, a brutal and miserable regime. Although it has changed for the better, there are still truths behind the halo of capitalism. To know all those truths, I have some results that may be very positive. Let's go in. Capitalism is an economic system based on private ownership of the means of production and production for profit. The characteristic features of capitalism include private property, capital accumulation, wage labor, voluntary exchange, a price system, and competitive markets. In a capitalist market economy, management and investment are determined by the owners of assets, means of production, or production capabilities in financial markets, while prices and distribution of goods and services are largely determined by competition in the markets for goods and services. That is the general concept of capitalism. It is a meaningless battlefield where we have to face money, work, power, existence, and our own life. It will never end and continue like that. The winner is happy, confident, and no longer afraid, while the loser is desperate, regretting what he has done, and they will have to face the tombstone that is waiting. The confrontation between large technology corporations like Apple, Samsung, or sports like Adidas, Nike is a representation of that. If one of the two wins, the ending will be very sad. If they win, they are happy, thinking that no one is their opponent. How will the remaining leaders feel if they are the losers? They will be desperate and not want to live anymore. Then one day they will end their own lives. If they are sober and determined enough, they will continue their ambition. Then it will become a loop with no known end. And when it stops, will our house still be intact? Capitalism has gone through 4 stages of development: free competition capitalism, monopoly capitalism, state monopoly capitalism, and now modern capitalism. Although today's capitalism has appropriate policies and human rights, there are still similarities with the previous stages. They say one thing but act another. They promise a lot of things: freedom, peace, happiness, equality, everything, but also break many promises, making people always dissatisfied, miserable, and even exhausted to the point of hanging by a thread. There have been many people who have wanted what they needed, opposed the things that those responsible for them were doing that were not beneficial. And what did they get in return? Their silence. Capitalist economy is considered as the act of sheep-eating human when not only monopolizing all the rights and assets of the productive forces, but also exploiting the labor force to develop into a monopoly of a field. The capitalists use production tools to increase profits and fame, thereby attracting many sparkling gold mines to help them achieve their highest goals. Money is everything, their only source of life. They consider money and ambition as their life. Modern capitalism has made society more welfare and fair, as well as applied technology to reduce labor pressure, thereby improving people's lives. However, it still has the inevitability of previous stages. Its change cannot become a new socio-economic form. It will never go beyond the shell of brutality and ambition of capitalism. K-pop singers, celebrities, heads of corporations, and even the authors of cartoons and films that we admire. Are you sure that what they do is for the people, society, or for their own ambitions? They have promised many times that they will make products that are useful to the community, that they will develop a hopeful future. But they may have broken that promise, and even if they still keep their promise, that action is just to do it, they do not really do it because they only need honor. They take advantage of us at all costs, to the point of overcoming the barriers of the law just for money and survival for themselves. They will never give up, even in the most difficult moments. They are still determined to achieve their ultimate goal. And do you know who suffers the most? Yes, no one but the people, the most important people of capitalism. The lives of those people are very miserable. Having to do hard work as well as time pressure makes them extremely tired and unable to do anything. From housing, furniture, beauty to entertainment, clothes. Even food, water, treatment all require money, and everything is very expensive. There is no free, you have to have money. They have to work from morning to night to have money to take care of their families. When it comes to special events, they have to go shopping, but they don't know if they have enough money. The rich are happy, the poor are miserable. When working, it is not better, they are exploited like animals. There are even days when they don't have time to rest. If they rest, their salary is deducted by their superiors. Workers are promised to be paid fairly, but when they receive their wages, they are paid less than promised. They are desperate, extremely exhausted, wishing for freedom, happiness, and a future. However, that is very far away, and they will still be stuck in a cycle of depression. If they work, they will be exploited, and if they do not work, they will eat the ground. Although modern capitalism is fairer and more convenient, it still cannot hide the dark corners of the people. It can be seen that many Korean and Japanese movies have the shadow of fatigue and hopelessness with no way out. The workers only focus on their work and do not pay attention to the beggars and orphans. They want to help those people, but money will always torment those who do not listen to their bosses. Many people are even so tired of life that they have to do inhumane acts to satisfy their boredom in life. Wait! That's not all. There's another super familiar thing, which is the polarization between rich and poor. Rich and poor is always a problem more difficult than difficult in today's society, especially capitalist society. Rich people have luxury cars, mansions, gold-plated food, luxurious clothes, etc. and etc. As for poor people, having food and clothes is already a blessing. There are times when the rich even fight each other to gain a unique position in society, called big fish swallowing small fish. Meanwhile, the poor wander around to beg, even risking their lives to save their loved ones. Going to work is criticized, laughed at, then when they get rich, they compete. If they lose, they find another more effective way. Although modern capitalism has solved a lot, it's not any better. Even when hearing the word human rights, all people are scared and worried. Millionaires and billionaires today only think about their own benefits. They always want to become kings and sit on the throne of capital. Meanwhile, the homeless are increasing because they have no labor value, because capital is gradually technologizing to earn more profits and carefully filtering geniuses for their purposes. Not only do they not benefit, but the capitalists also deal with the homeless just to hide the dark side as well as protect the tourist area. As mentioned above, current capitalism has solved many and closely about life, society, career, narrowing the gap between rich and poor, all are stable. People benefit more, eat well, dress warmly, are equal to each other, making everyone satisfy their needs, quality of life. People are free to share, love, cooperate, understand each other, making everyone hope for a globalized future. While they themselves are being controlled and manipulated by the government to be the oxen and horses for the capitalists to carry out their ultimate goals. Those who are still aware, no matter how hard they try to propagate and do good activities, the capitalists will cut down the roots of those efforts to the end. Everyone in the world is gradually falling into the spiral of success and suffering, and saving Mother Nature is just deliberately prolonging their ambitions. When socialism collapsed in Europe, they trumpeted the victory of capitalism, that it was the final destination of human existence. And so it went on. Capitalism drowned the freedom of humanity, followed ambition and greed, proudly soaring like an eagle, depriving the mold of opposition from the dark to the light, destroying all the efforts of socialism, where education and love are no longer necessary. And when humanity and the earth are destroyed and disappear, they will still do it to the end, running and trampling on unnecessary people to reach the final goal. And that is some of the dark side of capitalism, a cycle that can never be broken without solidarity, without awareness of all. Keep trying. United, until the end.